Well, we're working on power today, and battery hold down is the first on the list. And I thought about using these little metal clips from this Connects Scorpion thing my grandson put together a while back. And yeah, I don't think that's going to work. I want it to be expandable because eventually I'd like to try to put two batteries in here. And I talked to my son. He's got a 3D printer, and he's going to print me a couple of these 12 volt lead acid battery holders, which should work for what I need. Those should mount right in there and hold the battery in place. So yeah, like I said, I'm working on the power rail. Challenge here being I got a 2 amp circuit for charging the batteries. I'm going to have a 25 amp circuit for the power port, and then I'm going to have what else I got up there? I got a couple other circuits, but I'm going to have to jumper on this and then have like a 2 amp circuit breaker, a 25 amp circuit breaker, a 5 amp circuit breaker for the different things, and for the radio for the different things I want to be powering in there. So yeah, I'm going to draw this out to get a handle on exactly what I want to do power wise. But I'm thinking about doing the fusing like this, so that way I make it easy to work with. All right, that's about it for now for where I'm at with this project. Yeah, I'm making a little bit of headway. I'm definitely going to have to make a trip to town. I need to get some more electrical connectors. These little blue ones are not quite the heavy gauge that I want to use for the wires, but I'm making a little bit of progress here. And so what I've done is I've fastened the speaker wires down to where they're not flapping in the breeze. Same thing over here. It's going to be the power switch, so the main power is going to route along the edge, go into a fuse. So what I'm looking for is some kind of power management. So from the battery, we'll go into here, and then I can tap off of each one of these and go for the charge port, for the power port, for the switch, and then whatever else. And this is going to be my ground block, so I'll run a ground over to it, and that way I can have multiple ground points for the ground switch for here, the ground port for there. So yeah, and I do have other little like double spade terminals like that, and just kind of working on how I want to wire this in. Obviously these are the power and ground for the radio. They'll get managed in, and yeah, so I'm about at a stopping point for today. So I'll bring you back when I got a little bit more. I swear I had a list when I went to town, but yeah. So I got my replacement fire extinguishers for using my other ones up on the doghouse. Got me a good set of drill bits, because every drill bit I've used in there is junk. Got me a planer. This may solve my unevenness on the lid. If you've all noticed, the little control panel is a little cattywampus. Got me some wood chisels to maybe work on that and get that straightened out. I got a piano hinge. It's still in the truck. I got some latches, connectors, fuse block, side handles, some wire clips, fuses, Velcro tie down straps, another battery, so I'll have 2 batteries, some extra heat shrink, and some more screws. So yeah, now I got to take everything back out of the box so I can see if I can level that lid up and straighten the front panel up. Yep, I have a seriously messy bench, but we're still making progress. Still waiting on the voltmeter. It's supposed to be here today. Was supposed to be here yesterday. So we're still waiting on that still. My son printed me out some of these battery holders. Now they're supposed to go this way, but instead of doing that, what I've done is I'm thinking about screwing the holder down and then using some of these Velcro straps to hold the battery in. So the next challenge I have is tying two batteries together. Now this may or may not work. So we're going to go positive down to here, positive down to here, and then feed a single terminal over to the 30 amp fuse block, and that'll go to the switch, and then from the switch it'll come back to this side of the fuse block, and then I can branch out and feed the 25 amp for the power port, the 10 amp for something else, and then I've got a 5 amp for the radio and a 5 amp for the charging circuit, so I'll have one circuit open there. So anyhow, that's all going to get mounted in there once I get the power meter, because it sort of keys in on how everything's going to get wired up. So that's my thoughts. I can use this. If the dual battery doesn't work, I can always move a power over to here and have two separate 12 volts. I can leave the grounds tied together, doesn't really matter, but that'll give me two separate 12 volts that I can, not sure how I'd run it through the switch. It'd be maybe a standby or whatever, or could be swapped back and forth as they need charged. I don't know. I'm still, all this is in my head, how I want to wire this up. But anyhow, this is where I'm at with it for right now. Okay, I've got the batteries secured and installed, and the main power bus fastened in. My next step is to put the fuse block here, and I'm still waiting on my power meter. I'm just trying to get this back wall situated so I can make it sort of plug and play when I get the rest of the front put together. So yeah, when I got a project started, it tends to spread across multiple benches. Battery charge is actually working pretty good, but yeah, you can always tell when somebody's got a project going. It tends to migrate. So we'll take a look inside this box and see what we got so far. My voltmeter is supposed to be here today, and I am at a standstill, but for the most part I've got the radio circuit completely wired in, and we got the power going to a 5 amp fuse, and then this is my bus bar. And if you're all wondering why we're going with such heavy, I am planning on having a plug-in air compressor and a plug-in AC inverter to be able to run off this box if needed. That's why we're going with the multiple batteries. But this makes it just a little bit easier to hook things up. The 30 amp, we're going to come off and go to the switch, and then we're going to come back to this block again, so that way it'll be fused on the 30 amp, and from there I can branch off to the different circuits that's going to run the power port, the radio, and I'll have some other available fuses. So this can be expanded as I think of stuff to put in here, but for right now, we're at a standpoint until a stopping point until I get the voltmeter and get this panel on. And technically I could go ahead and put the radio in, but it's just a little bit easier working around it with it the way it is. So I'll get back with you when that power meter shows up.